I don't know why that screen sucks so bad. Damn thing. It's got to be fixable somehow. Anyway, who gives a shit about anything? Dang it. I'm going to start making a I'm going to start making a videos and a stream of videos every day and just send them out on Facebook. And this is going to be a big deal. I'm going to be famous on the internet. Really, I'm not even. I wouldn't even. My best idea is that what I'm so glad about with this is this feeling I've got because of being connected to. I'm thinking of several people that we've known each other for years, and we just reconnected, and we're you know, we don't even live near each other or nothing, but this is cool because we just, I feel like a lifelong connection with, because we have similar, uh, whatever you want, we have similar, intent for knowing, knowing shit about life. We have similar intent for figuring shit out and knowing, and so much so, everyone does, but so much so with these friends of mine, that it's consuming to a point that I know that I'm just aware of their passion. I can just it's just some people are drawn towards different things. Some people have families and that's the same thing, you know. But I don't know, some of us are just fucking obsessed with figuring out what is at the bottom of everything. And then we can't rest at all or even be involved with anything else without that being almost the forefront of it all. Everything's filtered through this we have a philosophy on everything. That's just I'm telling it to you as if I'm you and I'm someone who doesn't think that way, and that's probably stupid because you probably do too, actually. But I think we should all just fucking start talking and just chill, and who cares about goddamn being accepted or any of that shit. It's so annoying. I gotta feel fucking worry about what you think. Who cares? But here's my idea. We all, there's this point where you get to where there's no more, that there is not an answer. There's nothing, that's kind of where you've arrived, although there's no such thing as arriving. We're all alive forever. Existence is what it's about, and existence is permanent, and it does not have an answer. That's unsettling and also a relief at the same time, because it means that you can give up the search, although that can never really happen. It's always going to be a search. But but you can give up the like real tense hold on it. It can just be like, okay, okay. It can be an ongoing thing that does not have to be so fucking serious. And life or death need to get to the bottom of it because you know you never will. Um, every moment is going to be a movement of energy towards something. Even peace is a movement of energy. Even peace is not really resting. Even peace is alive, you know. And even though it seems still and all, you're conscious and you are expressing uh, you're expressing infinity even when you're at rest. You're Because how could you even know you were at rest unless you were experiencing rest? So it's like you're not actually, you're always aware, and awareness is always, it's always changing. It's never stagnant. There's no such thing really, except for and this is where I'm getting into a little bit of a philosophy, which I did pick up somewhere else. But what it is a dictation. It's like a explanation of something that we've all always been aware of, and these are just levels of reality that everyone is in. That we're all in, but it's just a description. It's a description of it. But there's like infinity, or the one, or you could say God, or you could say the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth actually is static. I mean, and I don't even mean static. It's just it's beyond experience. And us as conscious beings alive in this moment, you know, living and experiencing and shit, like we can just get a glimpse of that, of what that is, which is which is like, imagine the like imagine what's behind all this. What's at the center? What's at the what's underneath everything? Like, even, I mean, in this very moment, like what is back behind the curtain in this moment? What is in this very moment that we're sitting here? What is how far can you go behind the curtain? How far can you look beyond what we're because I can't talk for you, but I can talk for me, and I mean I'm experiencing here. I'm alive. You know, I feel the presence of life right now. You know, that's evident to me. So what is what is underneath that? Now I can only get as close to say that something is underneath that, but I can't see it. I mean, I cannot perceive it. I just have an inkling. I have an intuition that it's there. It's almost like I can get a glimpse, but that's it. I can get a glimpse that there is like a black hole, like a wall underneath everything. It's not a bad thing. It's not. It's just it is infinite. It is past the notion of being alive in this room with my brain and my voice and my hands, and it's beyond all that. It's beyond energy, although it is something like peace, something like silence, but it's ungraspable. And so um, the reason I'm even into that particular mode of interpreting reality, because there are many, and one's just as good as another. It really only I've found, as I've progressed along my own path, I've you pick up and discard stuff. It's like you trade in models of vehicles. Belief systems and ways of thinking are vehicles. They're ways of perceiving life, that and the idea is to keep upgrading and to get, to keep it moving, even though it's always going to be moving, but you want to move with it. You don't want to have your life getting ahead of you, and you've got, like, you're driving a old model shipmobile, and life is pulling at you, and your car ain't fast enough to keep up, because that happens. And you got to be real flexible in order to get the most enjoyment out of the experience. You got to just drop whatever you used to use to try and interpret experience. You know, there's let's talk about beliefs for a second, because we all live off of beliefs. And I'm not talking about beliefs in religion. I'm talking about simple shit, like what goes up must come down. That's one thing that's hammered into our heads, that concept that everything that's a I mean, just to examine that, it's part of Earth. Is a polarity thing. Everything has an opposite. Good has bad and all this kind of stuff. And that belief I grew up with, without ever questioning it or knowing that it was at work in my experience every day. What goes up must come down. Everything has a like, there's a price to pay. If you drink, you're going to be hungover. There's a price to pay for everything. Every uh, you know, every dark night has a dawn, and then the flip side to that is, every time you feel good, you got to wait for the flip side to it. It's coming. That, I mean, this is under that way of thinking. When you throw that thinking out, it no longer applies. It's no longer that way, and you don't experience that way when you get rid of that framework. But if you have it at play in your subconscious mind, which is part of the collective conscious of everybody, it's part of the collective conscious, that that um, everything has a price, and there's no free lunch, and and nothing comes without hard work, and this exchanging kind of thing. What goes around comes around, and karma, and justice ideas. If you're Christian, you're probably looking at it through what you reap, you sow, and all this. All this stuff is true if you live within that paradigm, which is an old paradigm. Um, Buddhists have karma, and Christians have uh, um, if there's a right word for it, but everything when I was Christian was God's doing. Even the devil, before it was the devil and everything was unhinged and it was like, okay, here's God up here, but he's not really that powerful. He's I'm out here unhinged. There's like the devil and all this stuff, and God's up there, but he's hands off. And then I had, some awakenings type things where I just experienced that there was this power in everything. There was this power, universal power existing in everything. And that was really disturbing to me because my life was so dark and my experience was so painful. And so then it was like, if this is in everything, it's in all this pain also. How is that possible if it's good? And my brain was my heart and my brain was just completely, because I could not, all the ideas that I had been taught did not fit. Nothing fit. And yet, and and yet this undeniable reality had presented itself. So only thing reference points I had for it were religious, and that is terrifying because when you have these beliefs as a child, you're told all this scary stuff. You can get scared, and at the same time, you know that love is still real. But then when you experience really some terrible things, love kind of goes out the window, and you're like, and then you experience this power kind of at the very, very bottom of your hell ride or whatever. Then you experience this great deep power, that's there, and it's good, but it's just also scary because you it can't be all good. At least this is the way you think. It can't be all good. But as I've gotten further and further out from that, and there is no such thing to me as, I knew when it happened, it was the end. It was as low. I was 19, and because of the feeling of it, the experience, it was as low as my soul could ever get. And I knew also that it was as low as it ever would get again. Today, I know that there are so many endless possibilities that I can't say, but I don't worry because we're in charge. As weird as that sounds, but we all picked to come here. We all picked to go through what we went through and what we're going through. We all knew exactly what it would be like, down to everything, not the details. Like things are not planned, and there's not a linear timeline like this and that's going to happen. None of it matters that much, but we just knew the uh, the colors of dark and light and stuff that we would experience, and the degrees of pain and stuff like that. We knew it would be very difficult and challenging. I've gotten so off track and lost and stuff, but and I'm still uncomfortable in front of this camera, which I shouldn't be, but I know that y'all are laughing at me, and that's okay. I can live with that. So there's nothing else to say. Mm-hmm. But everything I'm saying is what it is. You can do whatever you want with it.